Today we will talk about how we can mastering the AI, especially for the large language model with example of the Llama. Actually, we will follow to this tutorial. Let me share this tutorial. If in case you forget something during the session. So let me introduce myself first. I am Nazar Faru. You can call me just Faru. That's totally okay. And we will. I'm working as senior architect for, especially my area is AI, generative AI. And today we will go through. It's more will be practical class. However, we will introduce a little bit about the Llama generative AI, get closer with the Alibaba cloud platform and AI environment, what we offer for AI, especially for the generative AI, large language model, what's the benefits you can see from this. Then we will running Llama2 on the PAI. PAI stands here platform for artificial intelligence. So and on the PAI we have different models. One of the model is called the Elastic Algorithm Service, so EAS. After we see the hands-on, and then we will go to the Q&A, and you can test your knowledge by passing the exam on the cloud quiz session. And after then, who is successfully passed exam can get the Alibaba clouds certificates. In the same time, if you will have questions, feel free to ask. Raise your hand, type. I will time by time go to the chat and have a look what questions we have. So before we start, can we little bit get know each other's? Let's say you can type where are you from. For example, I'm now from Hangzhou, and Faru. So you can type this one in chat, and we can get know each other's for the sessions. So until typing, I will go to the environment what we need. So basically, for today's sessions, we need to go to the Alibaba Cloud Console. How you can go to the Alibaba Cloud Console? Let me quickly show it. So you need to go to the alibaba.cloud.com. This one I will share you in the chat as well. And after then, if you are not registered, please register. Then you can press the console, and you will be in similar. Let me open it. So when you press the console, you will have this page. So let's see what's our audience. Oh, we have Kang from Kuala Lumpur. Nice to meet you. Thailand, Pom. Nice to meet you. Okay, let's go to the session part. So we are starting from the principle of the generative AI, and what's the difference between the discriminant AI and generative AI? So to understand behind the generative AI, we need to look at the distinction between the discriminative and generative AI. When we had the the before on the zeros, like discriminant modeling. We mostly use machine learning algorithms to classify the input data, so it need to be some prediction or classification or forecasting as shown uh, in this picture. Maybe clustering, it can work as well. And we know the famous example of the prediction of the number when in a picture we have handwriting 0 to 9 digits, and we need to classify them by the numbers or handwriting to the numbers on the text, let's say in this way. And then that's mostly about the supervised learning technology. Then we comes up the uh, technologies like you remember PCA, principal component analysis, when it's like we shrink the size of the data and then try to make it maybe if, we have 10 dimensions we want to go to show with 2 dimensions. That's in this case we are shrinking the data, and then we start to think, okay, we can shrink the data. How about we work on the opposite side? We increase the data. In this case, it's coming idea of the after encoding, decoding. Let me, maybe I can draw something here. So after encoding and decoding, it's just we have let's say nodes, 3 nodes, neurons of the network, and then that will be our uh, encoder network, and we will have the decoder network, which will have the similar architecture. And um, the idea, so we can decrease the dimension from 3 to 2 and back from the 2 to 3. That's however, it has the difficulties. Then we had the like variential after encoding. Actually, this one is another the topic. If you are interested, feel free to contact us. We can describe about this one as well. Then after variential encoder, it comes to us as maybe we can do something another thing. Maybe we can use diffusion models or the diffusion technology on our models. Then it's in this case we have the generative AI. So all of the pictures what we have, we change it to this let's say to some um, normal distribution, and from this normal distribution by noise we change it, and then we can bring up these images again from the normal distribution to the image, and in same time we work about the text generation and about the text generation, because since today we will talk about the text generation more, I will come later with details what's behind the technology. Before that, let's go why we need to like open source large language models instead of the commercial large language models. So commercial large language models, they are great, and they have the different let's say levels, different indications. You can use the enterprise version, especially Alibaba Cloud has the Tony Chen, which separated entity for your cases, and it will be not shared any data which large language model knowledge will be not shared with other entities. In this case, you have super safe your own large language model. However, and for the let's say for the high security data, it's recommended to have their own on-premise solutions like open source or Tony. In this case, why is this requirement is come? Because of the ease of use, public availability of the commercial large languages. It's a lot of people using this large language model, and from the it has the questionnaire. From the questionnaire is like you can see that the 60% of the people, this is 1-2 part of our chart, using the large language model during their work, and from them let's say this one is 100% of the people who is using large language model, and from them is 30% is using it without telling or getting allowance from the company. They use this hiddenly, let's say. And from them, another 37%, they're sharing the high security data or some internal data to the outside. So if you wanna know about this data, you can go to this source and get this data more details. So when it's coming security issue, what we offer from the Alibaba Cloud, you just deploy your own large language model on Alibaba PAI platform for AI. What's the challenges? So we for the train the model, we need a high quality data set, computing resources, long-term investment, expertise knowledge, and specialists for this area. For example, you want to create the financial large language model similar to the Bloomberg GPT, then you should have the specialist to work on this one, expertise knowledge. So to overcome these issues, Alibaba Cloud offers machine learning platform for AI. Let me check. Do you have any questions or somebody new colleague says? So no messages. It's okay. Let me send you where you can sign up for Alibaba Cloud. So we can solve this one. And you see, okay, you bring these lines and this information where you can prove with by real data or real experience which you have done. Then it's general knowledge. We cannot against it, but we don't have proof. Then we bring the proof. Let's say for the open source GPT-3 model with a different parameter size, let's say starting from 1 and 3 billion parameters till 175 billion parameters, it took from 1 week to 3 months. That's huge time for the training model if you want to train from the scratch. And then another issue is if you want to do fine tuning for your company data, we are talking about the days when you have the GPU cluster with 50 GPU or 32 GPUs with when you have the different number of the samples. So depends on your samples, or let's say language corpus which you want to train your large language model, you will have the training time longer and longer. By not official data, it has some telling that research results that to training GPT-3 with 175 billion parameters, and when we have the 96 attention layers and 3 and 2 million batch size, which is around 500 billion words, that will cost around $5 million to train. So you can imagine, you can pay the $5 million, or you can pay $3 per hour on Alibaba Cloud. So that's your choice. Of course, if you want to do everything by yourself from the beginning, then totally okay. But it need to like huge investment only for the training model. That means it's not including your employees and other the spendings. So that's like benefits of using the cloud resources. And let's see what's the how large language model works actually. What's behind? Since today we have like more technical, we are not interested on the business side much. Let's see about the large language models itself. Basically, large language model is probability distribution, string over text. So it should first generate like characters, then make it like words, and then give you probability for each words how it should be. Let's say we have sentence regarding the like dog, a quick brown dog, and we will have we need to get this generated text in English and translation in Chinese, let's say. And in this case, model should give the probability. First, model will give the correct probability for the sentence by itself. And P1 probability is the highest one, then it goes P3. And for translation one, it's P3 will work is good too. So and here is when model is working, it's depends on what language it's modeling. So if your language is Chinese, let's use the Tongyiqian, an open source one. If your language is English, we can use Llama or Falcon or others. And in this case, we need to information retrieval. So which probability is have the highest information retrieval? Then for translation, we will choose the P3 as I mentioned, and I'm not sure about the heavy used like technology T9. T9 it was in the phone. Currently, probably we are using the updated version of the T9, which is when you start to type some word, the next word will be predicted for you. So it will give the prediction. Let's say I want to buy, and then it will give you milk or some bread or other things as rice. So that's kind of prediction. And this prediction actually is started from this prediction, and then it become generative models, which is give you comprehensive answer. By this changing from the language model or just from the rule-based recommendation for the text, it's changed to the language model. After language model, we now have the large language model. So let's see about this T9 case. Let's here is example on the phone when if it's like suggested words when it's typed in this unclear characters, it offers you the closest by probability word which can be exchanged. This T9 technology, you can think it's this normal human. And then if we are talking about the large language model, that will be Hulk. So can you find something interesting here? Here is even the created these images are designed by the generative AI. This one is generated by Alibaba Cloud Web UI technologies, which is on PAI. If you are interested, you can go our previous course on the I think it should be on the website. Let me check. Maybe colleagues can help us. I will ask colleagues to send the link to the previous as our AI Juicy course. Lulu, if possible, help me to send our previous generative AI course where we talk about the stable diffusion. So now we overall understand that in a high level, we understand what's the large language model and how it's generated. Let's go deeper in the technologies. And then on the technologies, as it's all of them is based on the transformers. Transformers, it's article published on 2017, and that article title is very, very interesting. It's called Attention, All You Need. So that's attention-based models, and like BERT, GPT, stable diffusions, and most of the generative models are created by the transformers. Here is example of the GPT-3, which is become similar for the models, large language models, and on the Llama behind is similar technology. Here has only encoder, as you can see, not exist decoder part that will increase the speed, and it makes sense. We need to only generate image. We don't need to the on opposite sides. So in this case, what we will have, we have this multi-head attention. This is as a important part of the transformers, and this attention will give our let's say in general it's order of the text, and it will give where we should put the more attention. And you can see how in this slide finding the words order on the transformers layer by layer. Plus we have our neural network layer, which we use feed-forward network, that will increase the speed of the generating. Previously we used let's say it was RNN, recursive neural networks, and for the recursive neural networks was the issue for the memory, because recursive neural network, it should remember previous, and then with the deep, how deep you will go, it was a huge issue. And to solve this one, first come LSTM, long short-term memory technology. However, it couldn't solve the issue with the memory. And then when it comes to transformers, we can create the huge size of the models easily. And the Alibaba Cloud, it has the let's say the world biggest model for generative AI, which we call M6. That's M6 has the in the world first tried 10 trillion parameters, and we run this model on our platform. That the model by itself, it's one issue, and another issue is, can you run this kind of huge model on your platform? That means you need to have the GPU resources, hardware resources, high speed high speed network between the cluster. Then these kind of issues we solve it. Okay, that's like a large language model, and let's go to the example. So now let me maybe ask from audience, do you have any questions related to the large language model architecture or architecture of the generative AI? Feel free to ask. And then we go into the examples and playground where we can try these large language models. Oops. So first playground will be our text to image technologies. Let me go to this link. We have this link. I need to. Okay. In Hugging Face, you can go to its model scope and Damo Vision Intelligence Laboratories repository, where you can find the text to video synthesis. That's quite interesting solutions, and it's open sourced, where a lot of developers try it and then very find it useful. You can see the last month's downloading is 4,000, and it's when it's going down the peak. In peak time, it was even 10,000 downloads. This model. And I tried these results. You can see on the left side, it's pretty cool results from the Tongyi Wangxian, which is by adding the prompts, I got the results. Here is his final results when we are skating on mountain, and you can play around with other the cases on your free time. Let me check the questions. Do we have some questions or not? I will close this one. Okay, so we don't have questions. So next we will go to the Llama side. On the Llama, Llama 1, we already know about this. It's published a long time ago. Llama 2, it's second version, but it saves the previous version's strong part. It's feed-forward after-regressive language model. Sequentially predicts the word from the content, and we from this name we can see it's similar to the GPT. And difference between Llama 2 and Llama 1, Llama 2 uses grouped query attention. That's new technology. You can go to this one if you want to know details. Let me share this article as well. So this article I will share here. The next is Llama 2 has a chat fine-tuned version, which is optimized for the language. And we have like two versions, just Llama by itself and Llama chat version, which is for the chatting. And for each version, we have different size, 7 billion size, 13 billion size, and the biggest is 70 billion. If you wanna go the sources, actually you can go to the GitHub and check the introduction and everything related to this one. And for the try on, we can go to the Hugging Face, ask some questions. Let's say here to try it, we can ask, who are you? I think it's something. Submit. Previously it was empty one, and for who are you? Oh, it's good. At least it's answering his Llama. So let's go to the result of the Llama. From the result, it's like Llama again proved the article, which is says when you increase the helpfulness of the large language model, it will be decrease the safety. And then we can see that for the helpful rate for the Llama with other with comparison compared to open source, Llama is quite good. We can see the compare with Falcon for TB, it's around 76. However, it's interesting, Llama 34B, it's put the results on the article, but we can see it's not published as open source. Now that's interesting part, right? And it's compared with other open source. It's good. It's let's say it's quite close to the ChatGPT version, and we can see as well the chart for the helpfulness win rate. Another thing is when it's like going to the helpfulness, we say safety, that's against to each other, and we need to kind of trade off. We want a safety model or very high helpfulness rate model. We can find the article regarding it on here. We know currently GPT model is becoming better in terms of the safety, but in terms of the helpfulness, it's becoming worse, and it's another proof here article. I will share this article as well. When it's like how behavior changing over time of GPT model. And if you go to the Alibaba's solution, which is Tony-Chevin, that's like the most find the golden place for the trade-off where highly safe and helpful. That's like important point or a strong point of the Tony-Chevin. So this finding is good, and if previously on the article it says that which we find out that gives like these results, but it's not proved by the GNs and some practical cases. Here is again proved this both articles. Okay, now I believe all of you are excited to try the Llama, and we can run it. But before run, what's the challenges of the running Llama? On what we can meet on the implementing Llama? Here is some challenges which we meet. First, you should have the GPU drivers installed. Of course, you have the GPU server, right? On the GPU server, you should install like GPU drivers, CUDA, and other dependings. Maybe you are using Python and how or other things. For this one, probably you will spend around 1 hour or half hour. And then you need to download the model. For downloading model, you go to the accept uh, go to the website and then download. Maybe you will spend another 5 hours, up to 5 hours, depends on your which model you choose it, what's your network speed, what's your hardware speed and others. So let's say in total now you already spend like take average 6 hours downloading and installing. And you need to install wrapper, right? You need to have the web UI or something which you can talk with the Llama, and the web UI will have the issues. So and then somebody will get so angry and like this Llama takes a hammer and start to damage the computer. I hope you will not go like this. So to overcome these challenges, let's use the Alibaba Cloud resources, right? In this case, I guarantee you, then if you are using the Alibaba Cloud, you will not meet any of these challenges. You will have to smoothly install Llama and run it. So let me prove my words by bringing the results. And before bringing, let me introduce Alibaba Cloud platform for AI environment by introducing you Alibaba Cloud AI journey. Alibaba Cloud AI journey starts from the establishing of the company. However, to bring it more particular, we created the Damo Academy, which is fully concentrated on the latest technologies. And every year they publish like top 10 technologies, which will be the next year trends. Very popular academy for developers and open source area. We have the developers which is working on the Kubernetes, generative AIs, large language models, and we have repositories which you can find a lot of codes and helpful, useful for programs. If you're interested, just go and find the Damo Academy repository on the GitHub. The next is we work on the assistant, virtual assistant, which is Ali Genu, and that is even in our meeting room we are using this one to establish meeting or help to book the meeting, and our customers using it at home as assistant. We have chatbot, we have uh, the strong platform PAI, platform for AI, which is come in 2018 and become like standard for AI developers in China, and now it's highly starting to use overseas as well, overseas in the world. We have voice recognition system which called Tongyi, Tingwu, and you will find A lot of generative AI things we call it 统一, like 统一前文, 统一, Tingwu, 统一, Xiangwen, and others. And we have all of these technologies, but how about the we need to show the muscle, right? Then we attend the different competition, and every competition what we attend, we get the top places. And let's say for the 2019, we get the fake news detection highest accuracy among all of attenders. So it shouldn't be only something good for business or other things. We work on the healthcare as well, medical AI stuff, to help the people to define the diseases and be assistant to the doctors. We know the doctors are busy, and they don't have even time for drinking coffee. And like this kind of assistant will help for them. Then we work on the generative AI a long time, and on 2021, we published our composer. It's diffusion model, which can be controlled. So diffusion model issues, it's difficult to control. Every time goes to the unpredictable results. Sometimes is people with 6 fingers, 3 legs, and then difficult to control their results. So composer which easy to control and a faster diffusion model. Alibaba every time wanna give something exciting results, and one of the exciting results is the first multimodal model, which is published in 2021 and has break first time in a world 10 trillion parameters. And these 10 trillion parameters is not only put it in a model, it's trained on the Alibaba cloud platform. So then we need to use all of these results, and we create the Alice Mind for its collection of the encoder and decoders. You can find all of the encoders, decoders, and even accelerators for the speed up your large language models. Model scope, where we collected all of our models. Then Lingjun is our data platform. Then we go with the 统一前文. That's like our open source and commercial database. Oh, sorry, commercial large language model. So what's the benefit of using generative AI? First, you will have computer power, which can handle the 10 trillion parameters model. So far, it's very few like this cloud providers who can handle the 10 trillion parameters model. Second is the platform. When you train the model, you can increase the speed for the training 11 times faster. What that means? That means, let me show in the numbers. So here, if you spend $5 million, instead of 5 million, you can spend $500,000 when you use the PAI, right? That's great. And we back to this page. And when you inference, you can speed up 6 times. You will see, even when we use the smallest GPU, you can get the Llama with the good results. Foundation models, when we start to use Alibaba Cloud, we will give all of the foundation models what you want. So you will have easy access. And then it will come to the model as services MAS, where you can find the SOTA models. You can find, you can find our own models. You can go with the third parties model hubs like Hugging Face or PyTorch Hub and others. And everything will be on the Alibaba Cloud platform, AI platform, and on our infrastructure, which is give you high-speed network, latest computing power on different computing chips and others. Of course, on the top of them, you can build your own application, whatever you want. And we will help. If you need to something special for the application, we can involve on this one as well. So this is like architecture overall, how it looks. But let me go to this page. So how foundation models will be trained? So large language model, diffusion models, everything is foundation model. When it's coming to the big size, it's foundation model. And for the foundation model, training process is like you have large scale training data set, training, and then pre-trained model when you will use. We know training from scratch is quite expensive. And then you choose your model for as pre-trained, fine-tune it with user data set, and you will have customized model which can be served. And if you use for this Alibaba Cloud, then you will have what you will have. You will have speed up your model by the Alibaba Pi accelerators 5% to 80%. That's a huge number actually. That means you can decrease your spending on the computing resources up to 18%. If you are spending $100, instead of $100, you can spend $82. And $18 will be on your side. It's safe, you can use for other things. And when we are talking about the diffusion models, it even goes higher, 40% speed up. That means you can save $40 if you are using $100. How about the language models? And when we are going to the performance with tuning PyBlade, it can speed 2 times, 4 times in the model size. That's inference. So it's when it's going to production, we call it inference. And on the V100 GPU cards, you can get this kind of speeds. That's amazing, actually. If you can save 4 times your cost only by using Alibaba Cloud, why not? Okay, so that's like what you can reach in terms of using Alibaba Cloud platform, AI platform. How about the use cases? So what you can get if you are using Alibaba Cloud. First, we can see this manufacturing, where manufacturing, let's say, they don't need to create the design by themselves, and they put as input the sketch, mask, and the new design. After then, they will get the style transfer. And when they have the style transfer, they have sketch and mask, they can make it automated producing this skirt. I would like to have special designed for me things. then they can give this web UI to the user, and this user can create their own design, t-shirt, shoes, or dress, and then manufacturer will be delivered with to them. So here is coming the several technologies: smart manufacturing, AI-driven delivery process or logistic process, and generative AI to generate the design. These ideas bring us that we should change something in a large language model, and then uh, this is driven by the not by the companies or by the science, is driven by the customers and users. And currently we found that from general large language model we need to change to industrial specific large language. And proof of this one, we have FinGPT, Financial GPT, Bloomberg GPT, it's another financial, Biomed GPT, it's special for the medical, and manufacturing GPT. And then Alibaba is providing the Tomicha Wen enterprise version, which you can make it industrial specific, depends on your needs. We will not create so we went to on the smart way. We don't need to create for in each industry one large language model. Instead of this, we give platform to create your own industry specific large language model. So if you see the other providers, they give you fish to feed you for one day. What Alibaba do, it give you tool to fishing, or let's say give you net to fishing, and you can create your own large language model, industry specific one. That's here is example of the easy dispatch for the delivery process. And if you ask from the large language model, can you deliver it? And then it will say, I cannot do it, like this kind of things. But on the easy dispatch, it can reply you, okay, give me time where you need to deliver it, no problem. I will make for you order and create the job. Another example, what you can do is you can create knowledge-based system. That's important things for the enterprises, and especially when we see the 33% of the users on the LLM, they're spreading their knowledge or information, internal information to the internet. And then when you create a knowledge-based system internal in a company, you can omit this kind of information spreading. So what we need for the knowledge-based system, basically we need the Elastic Computer Services, ECS. We need large language model. You can put on the ECS with GPU or platform for AI. If you put the platform for AI, you will get this kind. This. Let me show. You will get this one. So up to 11 times faster, 6 times faster, saving the cost. So you can decide which one you prefer more. So and then we can use vector database. As vector database, we offer analytic Postgres and ingest your data from the object storage. We call it OSS. Then you will have your knowledge-based system, which will know your internal data and without spreading outside. That will be high security large language or knowledge-based system inside your company. So probably, let me check. Do you have any questions? So far, we don't have questions. We have questions. Okay, no questions. So probably you are interested. Okay, how the schematically it looks. What's the architecture behind it? Architecture is quite simple, straightforward. So we have knowledge-based system where we save chat history with plus new question, large language model, and we go to the large language model with API. We will combine the question with history data, and we let me go in this way. We have source documents, internal documents. We need to convert it or split into chunks, and chunks save to the the vector database by the large language embedding API. And by this API, we can grab this data from the vector database. And when we have a most relevant document plus standalone question to the large language model, we can generate answer, and it will generate answer. That will work how in general large language model. Okay, now maybe you get bored and because it was too much theoretical parts, we see the different technologies, and we know now that Alibaba Cloud can save your cost if you are using GPUs on Alibaba platform for AI. How about we go to the practical side? Yes, let's go to practical on the hands-on. And for the hands-on, I will move to the Alibaba console. Just let me check, am I still online? Yes, so what I should do, let me quickly, I think I need to show you from the beginning side. That's Alibaba Cloud Console before we go to the how to come to this page. And you go to the console page, press here and type, we are going to use platform for AI, right? So I need to type platform for AI. Something for AI. And I will have list here immediately, platform for AI. And I type it. After I went to the platform for AI, just a moment. It should be this page actually. So I will have my platform for AI. I can create my workspace by pressing plus. It's simple. I need to give the name, and it shouldn't be exist. And next, it's quite straightforward. I already create the workspace. I will not create it. We go to the Elastic Algorithm Services. So first we enter to our workspace, then go to the Elastic Algorithm Service. You see, I have running two services. One is for Web UI, another is for API. Let's create the deploy the service. I will press the deploy service, and here I can see my interface. I wanna give the name open class. Llama 2. And then we can see here web. So we're going to deploy the web. You can create your own image, but why we need to do it? When it has a ready image, we go chat GLM. chat LLM web UI. Oops, oh, sorry. It's term of services, and here I need to choose version 1. So if you want to use deployment, you need to visit the official Meta website. I already did this one, and here is after you choose this one, immediately ready code. You don't need to choose anything. And if you want to have your own model, let's say you have Falcon or other models, that's totally okay. But and what we need to do is we need to specify the model. So on OSS, we can put the OSS path where we want to put and mount the value on the Elastic Algorithm Services, EAS. If you want to save the cost cheaper, you can and you will run it monthly, you can create your own resource group. But if you want to go to the pay-as-you-go, just use this public resource group, choose the GPU, and for GPU, for us will be more than enough V100. This one will be more than enough. So V100, we choose it. And then everything ready. What we need to do is press deploy. After it will be deployed. And details you can find on this tutorial. So press the deploy and it will be deployed. I will not press this one because I already deployed it. So this is Llama Web UI. On the Llama Web UI, during the deploy, you can monitor, you can see the log. On the log, it will show every steps of the deployment. Then if you want to do after scaling, enable after scaling, deployment events, you can check everything here, when it's deployed, when it's scaled, and so on information. You can even do the online debugging. Moreover, we will see on the API call side, we can do stress testing. So service details, I have service details, everything works and good. I can go to the details logs if I want. So what I'm interested on the web UI. So I press web UI and it should come the web UI. Okay, web UI I have, it's web UI for 7B chat. Let's ask same question, who are you? Okay, for 7 billion parameters, it's not bad, right? Best friend, my best friend, why not? Let's say, tell me about Alibaba Cloud Pi. It's interesting, can it recognize Pi? Oh yes, you see, it's not bad actually. Tell me about Alibaba Cloud Pi. It's Alibaba platform for AI, with data warehouse, processing, model training, deployment. Not bad, actually not bad. The interesting, I can ask some questions for you. If you wanna, I ask some questions, feel free to type. I will ask from the Llama. So not bad, actually. But this one is web UI, right? How about if we wanna create the API for the Llama and use it? For the API, we can create another instance, deploy instance. We choose the name, I don't know, open class Llama2 API. Deploy image. Okay, that's okay. Then again, we choose chat LLM Web UI, image version. Here, what we need to do, it's need to change. Here is Web UI service. What I will do, I will go to my tutorial. On the tutorial, it has a ready code for API. Oh, yes, here. So I wanna install 7 billion parameters. I just need to copy this code. It's actually not much changes. On this code, I will put here. If you want to put another port, not 8,000 other, please make sure this port and this port is the same. Then it's like you see API server. The GPU, I will choose the GPU V100. It will be good. V100, this one should be okay for me. System disk. Oh, system disk. Previously, we need to, I forgot to tell you, please add the system disk 50G to have maybe history of web UI and others. Then you have ready JSON file. Press the deploy. I will not press, but if you press, you will have this Llama API, and you can have the endpoint. I will open this endpoint and everyone can join. But right now, after I finish the demo, I will delete this instance and it will be not available, this endpoint. And for the using endpoint, again we go to the tutorial. On the tutorial, we have the class for API call. It's wrapper. To make is a standard wrapper for the large language model. I have prepared this one on VS Code. So here I put, after we copy it, here we need to change this one, right? So, oh, I didn't copy it. Elastic, this one I need to copy again. It shows copied. Let's check. No, copied. Probably need to choose it again. Let me copy in a manual way. Okay, now it's copied. And you can see the on the public endpoint, it starts from the HTTP. But for the host, we need to change to the WS. So when you will change, please change it to the WS. I already copied and put this API, but it should be API, not APP. Others looks okay. So next is what I will go. The next is I need to put my API key. API key will be put here. So what I will do is on this one, copy and pass. Please, when you create, keep your model information and credential secretly. And because I will delete after this session, I can show you. So we need to put here. And basically I can run it. I need the Python file. Okay, it's connected to server. It's working. Pong. You can change this message actually. I, for fun, put here this message as Pong, but you can choose anyone. So we are going to send in the ping to our server. I'm sorry, my server is in Singapore. I am located in China, so probably it's need a longer time to get the feedback. And my question was, tell me about Alibaba Cloud Pi, and it give result, not bad. Yes, here is result. So Alibaba Cloud Pi platform, or platform for AI innovations. Even it's added something new, but overall it's not bad. Then I can finish. So our platform is working, and so when we create this function, we see the information. And in previous, when we create the web UI, it wasn't one-click stress testing, but here we have the one-click stress testing. We can create the stress testing to find out QPS, maximum QPS, duration, and other information for our service. So if you want to put it as a service for your end users and publish this API, then please check it and find out how many QPS it can hold per second. And then you can calculate the users and other informations related to this. Okay, that is implementation part. And to make it, for example, if you will not use this model, basically what you can do is stop it or delete it. So let me delete this one because I already show you my credentials, so it's not safe to keep it. And for the web UI, I can stop it. In this case, I will not have any spendings on this one. Then it's deleting and going to stop. Here I will stop for 5 seconds. If you have questions, feel free to ask. So no questions. Oh, we have questions. No questions. Okay. Then we go to the, let's see, how about the fine tuning? How we can fine tune our model. That's another interesting part. For this one, we can create the DSW, Data Science Workshop. To go this one, we was here, Elastic Algorithm Services. I press the interactive modeling, DSW, then press the create the instance. So when you are creating instance, you just need to give the name, and it should be visible to current workspace or visible to me. I choose the current workspace, then my colleagues can work on this one. Public resources pay as you go. I need the GPU. Then let me choose maybe V100. V100. This one with one GPU should be okay, or maybe even cheaper one with 8 CPU. This will be better. Okay, then I need to put my shared resources. If you don't have some disk, we need to create the data set. For the image, we already have a lot of images. Let's choose PyTorch GPU 3.9 with Ubuntu 20.04. VPC we can select or we can create, it's up to you. I select the VPC zone A, let's say, and then you press next. after everything passed, you can create the instance. I will not go on the creating instance because I already created the instance and prepared for this class. So I go to the workspace. Oh, it's Shanghai now. It should be Singapore. So when you have the account, you can go to any region and create your account. Let's go to Singapore. Go to machine learning platform. We enter to this workspace, and I need to go DSW. On DSW, I can see resource group my LLM. What I need to do, I need to press launch. So I go to the launch. Okay, so that's like fine-tuning training Llama 2. But before we go to this notebook, let me explain a little bit. This is data science workshop. We have Jupyter Lab, amazing. You can do the GitHub, same as working on the same manner as you are working on your own machine or virtual server with installed Jupyter Lab, but it's already done for you. It's ready. Then we have Web IDE, where you can find. Let me wait for a while. Go. Okay, you can find its VS Code actually, and up to you. If you like to work with Jupyter Lab, go with Jupyter Lab. If you like the Web IDE, then you go to the Web IDE and run it on your. You can open. Yeah, I trust. Why I don't trust? I trust all of these folders and afters. If you like to, you can go to the notebook open on the Web IDE. And moreover, if you wanna work with the terminal, that's totally okay too. You can work on the terminal, and you can type any command. Let's say ls. Okay, ls, it shows what I have. So for fine tuning, here is notebook. You can go through to run all of this one and fine tune. But this is not scope of the work today's session. If you are interested on this one, please let us know. We will prepare another session. Let's say another session will be long chain plus a vector database and large language model, where you can have your own knowledge-based system. Basically on here, when you're fine tuning is you install, before we go to the next, for the fine tuning, what we can do, that I can go through this code, this is our code. Basically you install all of relevant libraries, and then we download the model, the Llama data, and test. The data for the train. It will be JSON file, and let me run. We can see how data should look, and fine tune the model with running our example as file. Let's see data JSON. It will give you a good idea how data should look. This is JSON. Okay, we have 250 data, and it should be SPF, so supervised fine tuning. Oh, here is some Chinese, but you can put your own data. So manner is like instruction, input if you have, and output, and then ID. When you train your model, you go to you go to the training. Here is training, and if you want to deploy to Elastic Algorithm Services, you just need to put your account key, open account key, and secret account key, and then it will be your endpoint, and where you will deploy your model, and after that it will be similarly created the Elastic Algorithm Service here. So that's like end of the fine-tuning part. If you have question, ask. Feel free to ask. Then we go to the back. Okay, so I'm leaving this page, and since I stopped it, should be this one not available. Let's test. It shouldn't be available. Yes, health upstream. It's not available, so we can close it. As you remember, I closed it previously. And here is we are paying. No, sorry, it's on the DSW for this resource. It has some network. For this DSW resource, we are paying per hour. For each running, we will pay per hour. Because of this one, it's recommended to stop it. So this is stop. I can have choice stop without saving or with saving environment.